Dr. Schutz, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Tell us something about your psychotherapy experience.
With pleasure. I started to do psychotherapy training in 1977, was credited psychodynamically as psychodynamic group psychotherapist in 82, and then went on to NLP and NLP therapy and systemic work. And eventually, 20 years ago, we focused more and more on trauma therapy, as there is unfortunately many people who had experienced very bad stories, partly from war or civil war, or also private situations, of course, accident. And since roughly 20 years, there's more and more awareness that traumatic occurrences can be helped in relatively short time if you know what to do. And EMDR is a very good way what to do.
What is your experience with the EMDR training?
Well, apart from having done EMDR training myself in Italy and in Finland and in London, and we had a EMDR peer group in my country, in Austria, we were finally convinced that after working with patients a lot of time, we saw it really works. So the training itself is one story, but you have to do the practical work and see, yes, this works, this is good. And that's why we think that EMDR is a very good add-on to a traditional psychotherapy training. Whatever school you have, doesn't matter.
Why EMDR is said to be so effective and efficient?
Most probably because you don't talk a lot, actually you talk very little. You work primarily on the neural level, and you can access some parts in the brain that is difficult to access with words. But with these bilateral simulations, you probably can get closer to the relevant areas in the hippocampus and rearrange some balances there.
Tell us something about the program is going to start soon.
We have a nice group of well-trained folks, and we show them the first steps in EMDR, and then they have a couple of months time to practice in their practice with simple cases, and we call them little T, small traumas, and then they can, after workshop 2, they can move on to larger stories and then eventually finish up with level C with the third workshop. And the stuff of the curriculum, the structure is more or less institutionalized all over the world. There's of course different associations that offer EMDR, but that's okay.
What is the certification they can get, and what you could tell us why the prerequisites are necessary?
Certification is simple. It's called EMDR practitioner, which means they have to do the training, they have to do a certain amount of hours with patients, they have to do a certain amount of supervision. And as they are already certified counselors or psychotherapists, that's a good basis, because a good counselor, a good psychotherapist knows his or her stories internally and doesn't want to do some religious healing or some pushy stories, but is very careful and very patient. And that's why we have the prerequisite that people have a university diploma and have some good training before.